Hello everybody, this is Nikki Knox with another episode of How to Claim Your Energy Back. So today I wanted to talk about how to not to waste your energy actually on things that do not bring you joy. I don't know how much you know about spirituality or energies or in general just how open you are to your overall general well-being. I think usually it's just people who ever had anything to do with mental health or had someone who had mental health issues wouldn't know this, because in general, like mainstream media and all the fake city lives and stuff like that, they don't talk about these things. They actually encourage the opposite, to keep going. So in this episode, I want to talk about the energy leaks when they come from directing your energy into negative things. So anything we focus our attention to, so energy is everything, by the way. Just when I say energy, it means your attention. Wherever you focus your thoughts, your energy in, wherever you put some effort in, whatever you think about, whatever occupies your mind, your dreams, your conversations, your thoughts, emotions, that's all energy. So wherever the law of the universe is, wherever you focus your energy, it multiplies. So when we choose to focus our energy on the negative, your world can very quickly become very grim, and nobody wants that. So I think I touched on these things in my previous podcasts inevitably. But basically, when we follow social media, we watch the news, we have friends who are into politics and into just mass panic about how the crisis and this and that and that. Do you think, whether you're gonna worry and talk about it every day, it's still gonna happen, right? So why would you torture yourself? Just deal with it when it comes. Well, I mean, it's good to be aware of it so you can prepare yourself, and instead of maybe getting that house extension, maybe wait a little to see how it's gonna go. So from awareness perspective, it's good. That's all you need to know. So crisis is coming. Maybe I shouldn't be borrowing hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands right now for something that's completely unnecessary. It's just kind of a luxury. So if tough times are approaching, maybe I should kind of just hold off on my luxurious plans. Maybe that would be a sensible thing to do. It's just you need awareness of it for common sense. that's all it is, so that you just you're not a complete alien around here. But when you're laying in bed and you can't sleep because you've been scrolling for 3 hours and on 87,000 different bloody topics, your mind is going, oh my god, I need to panic. So it's all triggers. Everything when you're scrolling on Insta, let's say, it's all triggers. Everything is something makes you laugh, so then you want to watch more videos of, I don't know, cats talking and stuff like that. Something makes you upset and triggers a fear in you. You need to go and research that. Something, there's a concert of your favorite artist coming up. Oh, well, you need to go and see where the tickets, if you can get the tickets, when's the next date. Maybe you should ping your friend to see if they want to go, blah blah blah. Maybe you should already book the tickets. And everything is a fucking trigger, and it's designed like that as well. So it's so much worse at night as well. So if you can't sleep, the last thing you need to do is grab your phone and start scrolling. If you are gonna grab a phone, put on a sleep cast that do the wind down, do breathing exercises. You're gonna be asleep in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Not saying it works every time. Last night actually I couldn't sleep. My cat woke me up at 1:30. I couldn't sleep till 4:30. I just couldn't. Just like no phone, no nothing. It was just like my mind is overstimulated by my own bloody imagination. I'm just too happy. It sometimes is that. So I was scrolling a bit and I was like, oh my goodness, this consumes people, isn't it? Because I'm off social media for over a year. I should start saying a year and a half soon, I think. I'm just not there. I'm there to sometimes reply to people who moan at me, like my parents when I don't talk to them for 3 months. But the funny thing is, everybody's like, what's wrong? What happened? Nothing. It's just I have my own life. Thank you. So yeah, I live my life. I don't have to report to anybody about my life, do I? On a weekly basis, on monthly basis, on any bloody basis. We catch up, we have a chat, we talk about things, and we move on. Crack on with your own life. I just don't get it, that codependency with family or friends. I do have a few friends who do want that, but when you have that, especially those regular catch-ups and stuff like that, make sure you don't fall into a trap where you discuss all the negative things. So maybe you bonded with that friend, maybe you made a new friend at the coffee machine in the office somewhere in the shared area, and the first topic you talked about was the financial crisis. So maybe that's what your friendship is based on almost. So every time you meet them, you now talk about bloody financial crisis and interest rates going up and shit. I know you have a new friend, love, but Jesus, man, just talk about something positive, maybe. Why would you? So how does that conversation make you feel? If you go out for lunch with that friend and you talk about all of these things, do you come back all sparkly and happy and bubbly because you had a good laugh and stuff like that? Or did you just moan about things? Even if you laugh even if you laugh it off, oh, life is miserable, fuck it, might as well just get drunk at lunchtime. Even if it's that, it's then even more toxic, because you just make it you kind of dress it as it's a no biggie. It is a biggie still, it's bothering you. You know what I mean? Why do this to yourself? So instead of that, as I said, whatever you focus your mind on grows. So if you stuck into following the news, and oh, God forbid, if you're just someone who comments on things and has opinion about everything, fucking hell, man, you need to ground yourself into real world, into your body. When was the last time you actually checked into your body? I'm not judging. I had 3 years when I realized after 3 years that I haven't looked at my body in the mirror without clothes in 3 years. I just never looked at myself. So I didn't even know how I looked like until I went on holiday and I saw myself in bikini, and I was like, yeah, no. That's not me. How did that happen? You should never feel like that. You should never look at yourself in pictures or in the mirror or anywhere and think, how did that happen? Who is she? Who is he? You should not ever. That means you're completely disconnected from your life, from yourself. You have to be. That's why yoga and Pilates, they are so popular. They actually, you check, or even any sports, when it's that mind muscle kind of approach, where you actually really focus on whichever muscle group you're training at that moment. So if you're doing squats, you're thinking about your glutes and you make that mind body connection. When you get down in the squat position, you really feel that stretch. So you're there, you're not thinking about anything else, you're actually present there. And if you ask people who are really into bodybuilding and body toning and stuff like that, that's the way to do it. It's not countless hours on a fucking treadmill while you're watching something on the screen, because sometimes you can just watch telly on the screen in the gym and run, which is better than nothing, but your mind is not connecting, so you're just doing things to your body and your mind is like, it doesn't get the signal that it needs to lose weight. You know what I mean? Well, is that what we're trying to do? Sorry, I thought we were watching telly. You know what I mean? It's almost that your mind kind of is so disconnected that you're not. That's one of the reasons why you're not seeing the results that you're trying to achieve. So if you're at the gym You're there to train, right? Why would you try and distract yourself from that? You know what you came there for. You know what I mean? It makes no bloody sense. So you came there to train, okay, so focus on that. If you need music to pump yourself up, to get those vibrations higher, to get yourself into to get some beats and stuff like that, it's to get you in that kind of positive energy. It's cool when you sit there, when you walk on a treadmill with no incline at like 5 miles per hour speed, and you watch British Bake Off. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, what are you doing really? Why? And then you just moan. You come back home, and after a week of doing this at the gym, and then you go, well, what's the point going to the gym? I'm not seeing any results. Might as well just bake some cake that I saw on the British Bake Off. Sounds familiar, I think, doesn't it? Jesus, I hope not. But just, yeah. So those are energy leaks, and they're not only energy leaks, they're actually the portals for energy to leak. You know what I mean? You focus on, oh my god, this winter season now, COVID may come back, I don't know if I can have plans for Christmas, oh my god, it's this and that and that, the bills are going up. If you're in UK, you're just, I don't know, I'm so disconnected from this, whatever is happening, that I don't even know whether this cost of living crisis is global or just UK. I don't need to know, because what difference will that make to me? None. So yeah, in UK you got cost of living crisis, the bills are going up and blah blah blah. Okay, so and then on top of that, there are some things like that actually, so these are the things that are external and you can't control, right? There are things in your immediate environment as well. You got, if you start from a bit, so if you imagine yourself in a circle, it's you here in the middle like a little dot. Then you got your immediate family, which are your kids and boyfriends and stuff like that, right? Then this extended family where you got your aunties and cousins and grannies. And then there's work, and it just keeps peeling as an onion, right? But you're that little seed right at the center, and out of, when it comes to your attention and where you focus it, all of that energy that you have, you're more likely than not focusing it on those external layers, those external circles around you. If you never ever ever at the end of the day get to, in the whole length of the day, never got to address yourself, you're just existing. You're not actually living. You're just existing to serve others. So you're food to everybody else. You're helping everybody else to live their lives while you're just existing. So you're like an energy donor. You're just there like a battery in the middle of those and of that onion, right? You're just there in the middle and everybody's feeding off of you. You're not getting anything back. So it's not an energy leak, it's a total destruction. And maybe I feel a lot of you are gonna get triggered by that. When was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror? Or have you ever felt like, what happened to me? Like, how did I get here? In whichever way, it could be gaining weight, losing weight, getting stretched more, suddenly you got cellulite, suddenly, I don't know what happens to men, like belly gets more hairy. What do you get? I don't know what your problems are. Beer belly usually, I think it's your problem. There's not much else that can go wrong with men, but women are a lot more picky about themselves, so it's just being present in the moment and trying to focus on things that bring you joy. Like, you know how, I think I talked about it as well, how I used to hate, I love clean house, like clean and tidy house. I used to spend the whole Sunday every week just doing the chores in the house and just getting everything really clean. This almost like OCD kind of clean, not that bad, but it was a lot. It would be like a capital cleaning every Sunday, and it would take the whole day. And I was like, And then Monday hits and you're knackered because Saturday was all for shopping and doing other things and cooking, and Sunday is cooking for the week ahead for you and your partner, and it's cleaning and everything. And then Monday hits and you're knackered because you never had any time for yourself, because it's all chores. I need to do this. Weekend is it's not there for you to catch up on things you haven't done in the week. It's not that. If you didn't get to do those things in the week, it's done. That's why it's called working week. It's like at work, you've done what you can, and in the time you had, or even to get things over the line, you stayed longer, right, to get them out of the way so that you can switch off on the weekend. It's the same with personal life. So you come back after work, right, you're cooking, and obviously you're not piling all the dishes for the weekend. You're actually doing some cleaning as well during the week. Just do a little extra, do 10-20 minutes every day, and you're not gonna have to sacrifice all Sunday to clean everything. So maybe one day you're gonna put the washing away, another day you're gonna just hoover around. Maybe it's a Wednesday, you're gonna just hoover around because it's been a few days. Maybe you're just gonna do this and that and that, and that way you don't have to sacrifice your whole day on the weekend. And weekends, it's nothing wrong with going and meeting family and socializing and stuff like that if you want to. If you get to a point where every first Saturday of the month I'm going there, and every Sunday of the month I'm doing this and blah blah blah, as long as it's not a set in stone schedule, it's fine. You should not have anything scheduled at your weekend. Maybe you're gonna have beauty procedure scheduled for Saturday because you couldn't, because beauty therapists don't really work late nights anymore. So maybe you have some beauty procedures. That's fine, because it's self-care, isn't it? So as long as it's you, right? It has to be about you. Weekend has to be about you. And yes, a lot of people are gonna say, you live in La La Land, I can't just drop everybody. How is it gonna be like, if my kids are gonna I can't just tell my kids, mommy is going to just sleep in and just do this and that and that. Yes, you can. And also, what is your hubby doing? Because more often than not, men do actually have weekends to just chill. What do? We clean, we cook, we make sure kids are ready for schools and stuff like that. I talk like I have kids. I don't, but I have a lot of friends who do. I know how busy their weekends are. They need to do the weekly shoppings, they need to do this and that and that. Dude, what are the men doing on their weekends? Oh, I got football practice, I'm going with my mates to play golf. Oh, there's football match on the telly, just gonna watch that. Oh, I'll go and cut some grass. Grass cutting is not a fucking chore, dude. It's just it's the same as putting the washing away. It's like the same amount of effort. So one thing, they take such pride in, I cut the grass and it's such a big thing. It's not. We do like 15 of these things in a day and we don't make a big deal out of it. So start utilizing that other adult in your life, because they are not babies. They didn't work harder than you. It's never the case. And call me sexist, I don't care. It's never, if you're in a couple, it's never the case that man does more than a woman. It's just, if you have kids, it's just not a thing. Simply because we can't do as little as you do. We cannot function like that because women can multitask and men can't. So we wake up in the morning and we're already doing more than you do, because we're just partially because we need so much more maintenance than for our own bodies than you do, so they can sleep longer. We need to get up early, we need to get our hair done, we need to get put the makeup on, we need to get our gym bag sorted, we care about what we eat, they really don't, and stuff like that. It's a lot of these little things that we do that men don't, and that just means we're constantly, it's not even on the tasks itself, who does how much cleaning, who does, just as the human being, the feminine and masculine, energy. So it's not necessarily a man and a woman. It could be very masculine woman, right? Or very feminine man as well. So it's not about the genders, it's more about the energies of feminine and masculine energies. Feminine energy is it's giving, it's shit. We just always, if we can do more, we will do more. Whereas men is like, if I can get away with the bare minimum, I'm so content about this. So that would be the masculine energy. They're just like, yeah, look, I'll just take care of the basics, right? We got money coming in, right? Cool. The car is going, yeah. We got a roof over our heads, yes. Plumbing is all cool. Electric's fine, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm watching football. So yeah, it's a joke, but I do mean it. So if you want to attack me somewhere, fuck, you know, I can't stop you. Then again, what are you gonna do? Focus your energy onto negative. So instead, laugh it off and help your other half more voluntarily. And you know, when they say happy wife, happy life, that's how you make her happy. You actually step into your adult shoes and start doing things as if you're equal. That's a shocker. You're equal. Oh my god, she's not your maid? She's not your private cook? Jesus. Well, that's news. I'm really in the shitty mood. Not a shitty mood, but in really like asshole woman mood today. I don't know why. So just to talk more about the focusing your energy on things like financial stability and stuff like that. I actually attended a webinar earlier this week where they were talking about it. The guy was actually spiritual as well. I don't even know half of the time. I keep attracting these people around me, I think. I don't know half of the time whether they even know that they are, which makes me really intrigued. So I really like hearing those things. And the guy was like, the universe, do you think the universe wants you to be broke? It doesn't. It wants you to thrive, and don't get out of that victim mentality, get out of that, all of those, oh, I should do this, anything that you are influenced to do because of the mass pressure from like peer and like society and stuff like that. All the should just go through the window and be replaced by could. So when they say you should save this 25% of your wages, probably not that, probably 5% of your wages, you should put to the savings, and you should do this and you should do that. When you say should, that immediately triggers a restriction. So it's a must. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. No. So that kind of keeps indicating to your brain and to your own little soul that you have no choice. I have to do this, so I have no choice. But instead, if you go, well, if I choose not to spend this on that this month, I could put some money aside. So that's, I could, and so I choose, and then I could because I chose. You know what I mean? It's little things to just reset your mindset to get yourself out of that victim mentality, because when you're in that survival mode where you just think you have no choice and your back is against the wall and stuff like that, that's when you lose motivation to do anything. You just feel like you're a puppet and you're drained and stuff like that. You are a puppet and you are drained at the moment. If you resonate with anything I said, you are. But you can, now that you heard me, right? Now that right now, you can choose not to be anymore. So from there, I'm just like, I'm not going to be a puppet anymore. What can I do? Well, I'll tell you what, I wake up in the morning, and if I feel like sleeping and if I feel like staying in bed for another half an hour, I'm just going to do it. And yes, what's the worst that's going to happen? Your kids are going to come to your bed and say, oh, mommy, get up. And you're just going to go, nah, I'm lazy. And you're just going to have a cuddle and have some giggles. Guess what? That's how you replenish your energy. They're going to find it funny. Nobody's going to get upset because you've always been there for them. Once you start, like, honestly just say, I'm tired, but not in the... You can, of course, if you're completely overburdened, you should be able to offload. But sometimes it's like, just really not feeling it. And when you say that to people, they kind of start seeing, when you're not attacking them, they kind of start seeing that, yeah, you actually are doing a lot. Let's just sit here and cuddle for a bit, or watch telly from bed maybe for a bit, and then we're gonna go and make pancakes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's be more positive, either from within straight away, or try to set some boundaries so you can claim some. So once you set some boundaries, you claim that energy back to make you feel more positive. When you're more positive, everything around you starts changing. So for example, if you have a lot of debt, and you just barely keeping up with all the minimum payments, and you have so many credit cards that you can't even count anymore, and you're missing payments because you just try to ignore it, it's just too much, you're not looking at it, and it's piling, and the letters are coming in, and this and that and that, and it gives you anxiety. So what do? You avoid it at all costs. So you'd rather do all the cleaning and everything just to just to keep yourself away from thinking about that. So when you're running and hiding from something, that thing grows. If you don't address it, it grows. So with the negativity, not only, it's really dangerous thing, not only that if you consume negative things or surround yourself by negativity, not only then it grows, it also grows if you because of that, you make some not so great choices that are not something that you actually need, but they were influenced by others. And like that, right, you try to push it away, and it grows and grows and grows. Like anxiety, you're not dealing with something, or like somebody's hurting you, and you feel drained and violated every time they say this, but you don't say anything about it, and you try to push it away. It grows into hate, and everything grows. Whatever you try to suppress and hide from yourself, it just grows there in the background, simply because it hasn't been addressed. So I did say, at the end of the day, you just do that little wind down and say to yourself, I claim my energy back from everyone and everything to focus on my own healing. That's gold, because that means every single night you actually address where your energy is, or filing your thoughts. As I said, you close your eyes and you let your thoughts flow, and you just go emotion or feeling, emotion or feeling, emotion or feeling, and you're gonna fall asleep. These tiny, they don't cost anything. It's just nothing. It's all talking to yourself in your head. That's it. That's all. That's that simple, and it would change your life. So when it comes to money and debt, if you just sit down one day, grab a cup of coffee or a bottle of whiskey if the situation is really bad, while you can still afford it, grab a whiskey, I would say, and just really, really write everything down. Just go on each of your accounts and get all the balances you owe, what's the monthly minimum payment, and just work out how big your debt is. What is the total sum of all the minimum payments that you have to make? If you need help at that point, because you will see it's unrealistic, get yourself on a plan or something, get some help. Don't hide from it. It's just gonna give you that peace of mind, and it would take those money worries away from the forefront of your mind. So at least it's nothing worse than, you got yourself in debt, but you don't need to beat yourself up for it. The society wants you to beat yourself up for it, so that you work harder and that you worry more. Because when you work harder and you worry more, you're naked. When you're naked, it's easy to manipulate you and get you into more dependencies, more. You just owe all the time. You just owe them. So that's what they want, right? That's what the mass mindset is going. That's where it's going. So you want to break out of that, and to do that is to stop running. And I completely relate to this, and I had to do a couple of check-ins with myself, because, as I said, I try to keep myself out of all of the politics and stuff. But sometimes there are things that you have to kind of just sit and stop running, sit down, assess the situation. Don't judge yourself, with no judgment, with nothing. You just go, okay, that's my situation. Can I afford this? No. Okay, I need help. Get help. That's it. And you will be doing it. You will be changing something in your life for the better. So the key is not to judge himself. The key is to just take accountability for your own actions. I'm gonna keep banging on about this. Yes, you have to draw boundaries to claim your energy back, but you also have to take accountability of the things that are actually yours to take accountability for. So if you can say, oh, I was in such a horrible relationship, he was so bad with money, blah blah blah, I had to always cover for both of us when we went on holiday and stuff like that. I had to use my credit rating was better than his, and I always had to use my credits. He's the reason why I got in debt and stuff like that. Okay, sure. Also, you allow that to happen. So if you allow something to happen, you need to, if all of those bad things that were happening to you, you allow that to happen because you were insecure. Why would somebody put up with this kind of behavior? Why would somebody feel like they need to work 3 jobs just to feed someone else's bad habits, right? Maybe you're not a smoker, you don't drink, and you don't have any other addictions, right? You're clean, you're doing what you can, you have a well-paid job, you do yoga, you look after yourself, blah blah blah. Your partner is drinking, smoking, he's lazy, doesn't help you, and also he's got loads of these addictions, like, that are not only not good for him, but also he can't really afford, can he? Because if he could afford them, he could afford to take you on those holidays as well, or at least do half-seas, right? But clearly, it's not that you need to take on the debt or you need to work hard and earn more money to save him. No, he needs to pull his finger out and get it done himself. So he's not taking any accountability for what he's doing, and you are not taking accountability for the fact that you're allowing him to take advantage of you. It's a hard pill to swallow. I had to swallow it a few times in my life. I have some people in my life that now I can see how manipulative they are. They wrap it up very nicely and stuff, and I can see it. I won't necessarily remove them from my life, but now that I can see their ways, I just look at them. They try to manipulate me into something. It's usually the guilt and stuff like that, it's like, you go and see, you got auntie and a cousin living in the same town, and you go and visit one and not the other, let's say, right? They're gonna try and guilt trip you. You were just 2 houses away, I can't believe you didn't come, blah 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 blah. So that would be a most obvious kind of guilt tripping into coming in, seeing me, and then you go to see them after all of this drama, they got nothing to say. It was just the fact that they had something to moan about. It somehow hurt their ego that you went to the other person and not you, and not them, as if you kind of made them feel like they're less important. They don't actually have anything to say to you, or they don't want to hear anything about you either. You just went there, rearranged your whole schedule because they were completely pulling on your heartstrings and making you feel bad about it, when to actually reshuffled everything to make it happen. You go there and it's like, what am I doing? It's just like, what was the point? Why did you create all of this stress and all of this chaos? Which is like, what am I getting out of it? Nothing. So what the fuck was that? You just kind of sometimes have to people just do things out of guilt, and other people that it's just no rhyme or reason to why we do things. Sometimes it's just idiotic. I think that was a good example of how idiotic life can be if we're not conscious enough about it. So I don't know, it's tricky when you set the boundaries up. You get some energy back, but I don't know how. I don't want to be too hard on people, but I don't know any other way how to say it, that even in that example, right, you allowed it to happen, right? So you think that person is horrible and I'm never gonna go there. Yeah, you will, because they're gonna do the same again and you're gonna go again, because you allow people to guilt trip you into things. You don't have to go and visit anybody ever, unless they're dying, basically. If people are doing fine, it's fine. If you're going to visit them, make sure you're having fun, right? I'm not saying it needs to be an occasion, but there's you get their full attention, they get your full attention. It's an actual catch-up, it's an actual exchange of life experiences. It's nice, isn't it? It's bubbly, whether you're drinking or not drinking, and you don't go there to just have a tea as a check-in. I don't understand those check-ins. It's idiotic. Why? If something is really, really good, invite me, let's celebrate it. If something's really, really bad, do you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. But the point is, meeting and giving your energy to other people should be on the basis that you have my full attention on both sides. And when you have full attention on both sides, the conversation actually adds value, and it could be very healing and comforting and strengthen your bond, and it could raise your vibrations. It could get your vibrations down as well if the person is down. But if you're strong enough and not depleted by all of those check-in guilt trip meetings, you would probably find a way to make that person feel better. And then if you get home after that, after you helped somebody, if you claim your energy back, you will be fine the following morning. So it's just all about stopping people right here, right now. Look for ways how you can stop people from draining you, and then by setting the boundaries and putting yourself first. And then also, once you're comfortable at this, don't do everything all at once. It's not gonna last and you're gonna fail. But little by little, maybe you just stop saying yes to everything. I have a friend who's terrible at this. Actually, several friends, they just drive me nuts. It's I'm not gonna talk to that person anymore because it's bad for me, blah 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 blah. Next thing I know, you're gonna tell me off. What have you done? I went out to the cinema with him. Oh, for fuck's sake, why? Oh no, I wanted to see a movie and he wanted to see a movie. Really? Just fuck off. You know what I mean? It's come on, you're better than this. It's bad for you. Why are you doing? Why are you dancing around this? Stop it. It's just so. That's an example of how you're not taking accountability. You just go, oh yeah, it was just the circumstances kind of brought us together. No, they didn't. No. A lot of people want to go to cinema. I would have gone. You didn't call me, did you? It's just try and be a bit more conscious. So the first step is, as I said, at least, the very, very least, go to the shower at the end of the day, or lay in bed at the end of the day and just claim your energy back. Just consciously imagine imagine how many people are attached to your energy, right? So you don't have to imagine all of them. So just as these little strings or cords going outside of you, as I said, you're a battery, right? And you're USB port, charging port, and you have loads of plugs. Unplug. You don't even need to identify them all. You just go unplug, and just go around. I don't know what kind of shape charger you are. I'm always rectangular. You just unplug all of them and plug yourself into the source and get yourself charged. And then it's inevitably going to be that people are going to plug into you during the day, but at least you're going to be charged properly to actually meet the demand, At least that's the first step. Then you start saying no, so you don't have to unplug that much at the end of the day, because you already said no. This percentage of my available ports are now out of operation, thank you. Don't need to sound like a cyborg, just saying. That's where it is. So that would be step 2. And step 3 is, once you're comfortable with these 2, it's actually starting to see where I'm leaking my energy voluntarily. Where do I allow people to drain me? And then stop doing that too. Your life is gonna change. It's not just people, it could be situations, like, as I said, the financial, like having debt and stuff like that. And just as a side note, right, if somebody is pushing you if you're in lots of debt right now and somebody's trying to talk you out of getting help, like getting I don't know how they're called, like some debt help. There are these organizations that can give you help. There's not always bankruptcy, right? There are other things they can do to help you pay off your debt. But then, I'm not gonna do this, because then it just means like it's almost like a really bad thing for you to do. It's like it's frowned upon as getting help with your mental health used to be frowned upon as well, but now it's kind of getting more light to it. There's more light coming to it, so it's kind of more acceptable. But it's only more acceptable because more people are broken to a point where they need mental health support in one way or another. With financial support, it's still a stigma. So you tell, I think the general view is that if you're getting some of those debt management plans and stuff like that, you're actually getting help. You're put on some kind of contract with the government or whatever, or those financial organizations. You're screwed basically. Might as well go bankrupt. No, it's help there, just like all the counseling and everything. And beta blockers and antidepressants have been help for years and years and years, but people frowned upon them because it was like, no, it's that means you're written off. That means you can't keep up with the world and stuff like that. That's false belief. That's preventing you. It's like mass false belief that's preventing you from actually getting your life in order, just like getting mental health help. So don't try and get talked out. Don't get into people saying it's gonna be really hard to get a mortgage on your house because whatever, this stays on your record for 6 years, blah blah blah. Every missed payment stays on your fucking record as well. So you shouldn't be worried about your credit record if you fucked up anyway. You should be worried, right? The whole point is to get it up, but you don't have to be worried about buying a house because you can't afford it right now, can you? The reason why you can't afford it is because you've got all of this debt. So do whatever. It's a vicious cycle, right? You need to break yourself out of it. The only way to break yourself out of it in a healthy and non-soul damaging way is to actually take accountability for it, get some help, and just stick to it. So once you get yourself on the debt management plan or something, you just stop taking on any more debt. You just take that as help, take it seriously. A bit like with mental health as well. You get signed off, right? And they leave you alone. You attend those counseling sessions, but that's it pretty much. The rest of the time you're on your own. You just do what you want. So you can spend the months that you're signed off with stress and anxiety time drinking with your friends, or you can actually take it seriously and get yourself sorted in that time off. So it's the same with that. They put you on some kind of plan, right? You make one payment a month, you don't have to worry about anything. So it frees up your mind. It helps actually with your mental health as well, because you don't feel like harassed by all of these creditors and stuff. And then and you just take it seriously and don't fall into the old patterns of getting more credit. No, you actually build yourself a safety net. You build yourself a little capital, like of a couple of thousand maybe, for of untouchable money, which you never had the chance to do before, right? You just do things your own way to get where everybody's trying to push you. Because where they're trying to push you is like, well, you have to have this, you have to have your mortgage by 30, and you have to do this and that and that. And I was like, why? Because people who have mortgages right now, their interest rates apparently are going sky high. I never had any care in those anyway. But yes, property is a good investment, but why is it actually, when you really, really think about it, is it your priority to own something? It makes a lot of sense. I know you pay less in mortgage payments and you pay for the rent, and knowing that what you're paying every month goes towards paying your own loan, essentially, rather than someone else's. Because when you're renting, you're paying someone else's mortgage, right? I get it. I get how your ego gets hurt and bruised and shit like that, but not everybody's on the same boat. And I don't understand why the society is it pisses me off how limited it is. And as I said, my whole point of this channel is to talk to people who are neither completely broken, neither really zen and just got everything figured out. What about those people in the middle? There's no room for anybody in the middle. So we only talk about really, really bad cases or really, really good cases, and nobody's talking about people who are just doing well. So effortlessly, even how do you do this effortlessly? Like, how do you maintain your body weight the same basically throughout your whole life? So you don't have to diet, you don't really have to intentionally go and exercise, otherwise you're just gonna slip off the wagon again. How do you develop those good choices, blah blah blah? We don't talk any good practices. You kind of just look at them as la la land. And now a lot of people, again, a lot of people, me included, I don't hide that I'm talking from the spiritual place, that I am connected to spirituality. That's what it drives me forward. It just everything started making sense simply because I always frowned upon all kinds of beliefs, but I just didn't know enough about them. So I didn't know the difference between spirituality and religion, for example. So I was like, religion, seriously? Just no. Buddhism seemed to be way too interesting for me to ever dig into, because I was like, because in my head Buddhism was the religion, and I was like, I am not gonna take part in that shit. It's like, I cannot read about it because it's too interesting, and I would probably end up being a Buddhist. But it's not really a religion, apparently. It is way of living. So it's spirituality. And for those who are interested, the difference between religion and spirituality is that religion tells you to follow the rules. It tells you who your God is, and it tells you what the values are and stuff like that, what do's and don'ts, and you're always kind of a sinner. And with spirituality, you create your own belief system. So once it guides you inwards, and from there you set what your values are, you set what's important to you, you set what principles you want to follow, what kind of environment you want to create around yourself, what kind of people you want to interact with. So that's the difference. And then if you resonate with any labels like spiritual guru or yogi or whatever tags you want to put on yourself, if you wish so, because you resonate with those, that's fine, do it. If you don't, you don't have to. I don't feel like I need to tag myself as anything. I'm just me, and I'm spiritual. I think that's a tag enough. broad enough tag, if I need to put any on myself. So just always think about everything from your own perspective and don't compare yourself. I cannot say this enough. I think I say this in every single podcast. Do not compare yourself to others. That mortgage thing is just the most idiotic thing ever. Why do you... It's... Take mortgage when you actually have spare 25k in your bank to put it as a deposit, then you can take mortgage. I get it, when you have it spare. You don't have it spare, live your life. Why would you in your 20s spend your whole 20s saving money, depriving yourself from experiences, not allowing yourself to go and travel and know the world and do this and that and that? You shop at the cheapest shops, eat the shittiest food just to save money to put more towards deposit and blah blah blah. What the fuck are you doing with your first decade of your adult life? What are you doing? I haven't traveled that much at all, to be honest, in my 20s either. And that's why I really want you not to make the same mistake if you're in your 20s right now. Stop saving. Stop saving for fucking house. Why do you need it in your 20s? You just, go experience life, build your career. At some point in your career, you're gonna earn enough where you can just, but I don't know, now you're squeezing yourself to put a couple of $100 aside a month, right? Wait until... Instead, invest in yourself, right? Invest in your own experiences. They're gonna make you a more multifaceted person, which will attract better job opportunities, right? Because it's all, in every job, it's all about personality, really. It's, if you're a hard worker, it's cool, but if you have zero personality, that's who you're gonna be your whole life, a hard worker, right? Once you're more social, because people love interaction and stuff, you need to... If you're working hard, you have no energy to be bubbly and energetic. That's what they want in the jobs, especially in the higher paid jobs. They want energetic people, right? With the drive for life, because they want you to have that energy in you to drive the business forward and stuff like that. So really, the best investment is just to yourself, to your own experiences, to be that person who travels and has something to say and knows things and has friends in different companies and stuff like that, that you have those one-to-one conversations where you have each other's full attention, so you learn from them, they learn from you. It's so organic, everything's so organic, and you will probably in your early 30s end up in the role where you're gonna effortlessly be able to put $500 or $600 aside a month, and saving for your mortgage wouldn't be such a burden, right? Just saying, why not? That's what I would have done if I could turn back the time. But the thing is with me, though, I'm not the best example because I don't believe in owning things. I personally have zero need to own anything. I'm happy renting. It doesn't bruise my ego in any way that I'm paying somebody else's mortgage. I don't care. I love this flat. I don't care. It's like, can I afford the payments? Yep, done. And I'm living here. I don't care, who's benefiting, profiting, blah, blah, blah. Why would I? It's not my problem. My problem is I need to pay the bills to make sure that I have a roof above my head. That's it. That's my problem. And everything else, it's just, I can, if I want to improve my home, I'm gonna do it. If I want to travel, I'm gonna do it. If I like a car as well, I'm in my 30s and I don't have a driving license. And I thought, the first thing when I broke up and I moved out to live by myself, I thought, definitely now I'm gonna get a driving license. I'm gonna get a car and stuff. And I'm like sitting here going, a fucking car, it probably costs like a few hundred at least quid a month to run, right? Because there's that's the petrol, there's those MOTs, there's insurances, and there's this and that. And if something goes wrong, and I know nothing about cars, so I would definitely go to the garage, and they would overcharge me because I'm a clueless woman. So I'm just thinking, so it's probably going to be, let's say, 500 quid a month. And what is that actually going to add to my life? then nothing. It will actually take away all of my freedom to do things that I like, where I invest in my beauty and my spirituality and stuff like that. I would just become more financially burdened. Right now, my bus ticket costs 20 quid a month. And I don't even use it. No, sorry, a week, not a month. But I don't even use it that much. And when I do, it's kind of because where I live, it's not actually needed. But maybe it's because people who live a lot closer to the city, because I'm in the outskirts, people who live a lot closer to the city, they find it impossible not to have a car, but it's because they're used to it, and I'm the other way around. So if I was used to having a car since teenage years, it would, you just grow up with that kind of aspect in the budget. I need to put money aside for the car and stuff like that, and I haven't. So for me to now take on that kind of responsibility, and I'm like, well, I only wanted a car so that I can, when it's raining, I can go to the gym. When it's really early in the morning, I can go to the gym, but then you pay for parking and shit. And then really I want to do some trips. I would travel more around the country if I had a car. But then I could equally not travel around the country and put some money aside and travel abroad instead, where I can go on these guided trips and stuff like that, and just people take me to places, or I just go to places and stuff like that. So, what on the ground, when you put everything on the scale, is it worth for me getting a car? No, it would probably do more damage to my financial stability and to my mental health as well, because it's just although I do feel like right now I would be, and like before, because I was pressured to get a driving license, but right now I kind of feel it would be for me, but then I also feel like it's not the right time. I just don't feel it. I just don't feel it right now. And maybe when I change jobs I will feel better, because if the money is just there for it, it's fine. I think that's how I look at things. If the money is just sitting there and I can just do it effortlessly without hurting anything in terms of stability and my mental health, then cool, I'll do it. But if not, I'm not going to give in to any pressures of my own ego or someone else's kind of expectations, and someone else's expectations on my life. So I keep sharing a lot of things about me. I don't know if I like it, but but when I attended that financial I can't remember how it was called, it was something like sort out your stability kind of thing webinar, the guy was sharing a lot about his personal life, and he was like, for a really long time when I was in my 20s, I was like really bad with my finances. I was so badly in debt, and I was so angry at my parents for that they didn't teach me how to be better with money, how to take responsibility, how to be a responsible borrower and stuff like that. And I was like, and these personal experiences just click so much better than any kind of generic shit that you can talk about. And I know it really works with me. And when I was signed off and stuff like that, all of the people that I was watching, they were teachers, right? But they were all real people. They were not teachers and that's how I got into spirituality. I think I opened myself up. They were like, I'm just winging it. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and I'm just telling you how it was to me in hopes. And I said the intention that whatever I'm sharing is for the higher good of everybody else, and it works every time, and I keep benefiting from other people doing that. So I feel like it's my turn to give back with these podcasts as well. So whatever I learned from others, whatever I discover myself, I'm very grateful that I have the courage to actually share these things with you as well, in hopes they will help you to claim your energy back and to be your true authentic self. So that's it for today. I love you lots. Set the boundaries. Take deep breaths. Claim your energy back. Be happy and positive. Don't focus on negatives. And make positivity grow in your life. I love you all. Nikki.